Horton, your son has totally flipped out again and thinks he can fly. Little one was eating and listening to the birds. I think he is high. They were funny-looking plants, 5 leaves with keef blossoms. Told you to keep him away from those. We get lazy, won't get off our bottoms.
I suppose not. With coronavirus, no one needs your ugly kind of snot. So feel sorry for yourself. I do not. I shall be grumpy till the bitter end. Take those opinions or then I'll smite the system with Grumpy 10. Answer to your question and stuff him elsewhere. The next contagion.
You'll get just what you deserve, the shit. I will have catnip peace. Satisfying as it can be. Panama Red comes kind of close at least. People just crap. Fall and cause they ain't the decency to dig a hole. Cats even fill it up when we're done. How is that, for fun or a goal?
There will be no more twittering tonight, friends. See, I ain't tweeting. Noisy Harper's getting to bother me. Climb up or you're next, sweetie. Neighbor, yeah, it bothers me. And who gets the Twit of the Year award? Doctor Who, sort of thought it might be you. Nothing to do and I'm bored.
I am going to go back to sleep only to keep one eye open just a peep. The entire thing will go away. Awakening, I'll find out it is not for keep. Another day and it never happened in the first place. 1 life down. 8 to go. I'm only missing 1. God won't know it's not around.
Grumpy cat, through the imagination of my own warped artistic musk. Claude Monet, not a pampered pussy. Getting one in diaper is a must. This was at Disneyland where I got to go on all the rides for a week. It is all kind of fun after you're retired. What kind of peace do you seek?
Think I'll give up twittering to quack my lines. Only the holy flack. Naturally so, flock. What of course, does the duck you say, it lack? Plot plus ability to stay awake. We sometimes have to do it at night. Only one reason I stay in it at times, fish, hunt, and keep up the fight.
While not grumpy they're cats. It seems to be spring love at that. Pride, kinship, sexual reproduction, family ties, which seem to last. Flesh and blood, share a feast. For time being at least we'll enjoy it. Family effort takes teamwork, all benefit. Don't desecrate Earth. Quit.
The mother from whom you arose? Scientists unless proven wrong. Quadrupedal with vertebrae and brain if I'm unmistaken. Too far gone? Another walking medical journal I would suppose. That's far as it goes. We're family. Got all the brothers, sisters and me. It doesn't fit in rows.
It's what we call that cousin to someone. Think back a bit. Hair so long could belong to anything. It is hair. Think hard, take a hit. Not Ophelia, drown herself in a lake. Couldn't take losing dear Hamlet. Still a third rock from the sun. Unchanged a billion years, same planet.
Appendages aren't identical, displaying similar characteristics. However, verifiably delicate wings to fat legs or ankles that withstand better. Extremities leave the survivor standing or do not break in landing. Anything that works in the game for survival and even notwithstanding.
Sturdy or agile, the last one standing determines better a design with. And it is a big if. How much and how fast. Change may overcome it. Environment that's a determining factor is something we will not control. Believe an ant may move an entire mountain, enough time, controlled.
Man can't control our weather and would probably bungle it if he did. What's comfortable, sea level on land may make no difference to squid. How deep down did the stampering go, another lava flow or volcano? Man might mess up the mantle or alter our solar radiation, don't know.
Change to the environment seems to come from inner and outer space. Our habitable zone, an atmosphere only a few miles thick, is the case. Takes big adaptation to adjust to life underwater, ground or spaceship. Long visits in a contained atmosphere are possible if worth the trip.
What makes it worth the expense? There must be something worth it. Technology might become that one. Can it become part of daily life? Admit. Confinement does not offer much freedom. Containment must be large. Cruise ship next to a bathysphere? Am I being paid or levied the charge?
I am for going to the moon or Mars. Coast to coast in our nice cars. 3,000 miles driving requires stops and not sealed in jars. Better be quarters for sleeping, eating and a latrine for humans. Stick to flying jets for the Marines, there's simpler cross-country solutions.
Sophisticated robotics and space-based astronomy a realistic solution. What's out there worth sending humans for seems to be a dissolution. Real estate would be a very big reason. So the Earth's that crowded? Location, one reason, long trip to the store, below surface enshrouded?
Big mining effort seems likely for minerals or material of great value. Without return on investment must be military. Moonraker, shall you start a new civilization in space then destroy the Earth? Not too friendly. In casualties between us and them our side would win immensely.
Bipedalism, upright posture running on two legs led mankind out of Eden. Forbidden fruit, the tree of knowledge? Brains need meat to be eaten. Dietary need led men, hunting, chasing down game on foot at distance. Slow, steady pursuit of other animals gave us a runner's existence.
Competitors unrelated to genetic Adam and Eve, our modern ancestors. Heavily built, not as swift of foot guide around the last ice age we enter. European sort, more than likely. Neanderthal competed for resources. Banding together with better technologies made us superior forces.
Advance, stand ground, run, fight or flight, when, where, why? What are you protecting? Strike, run away, live to see a new day, not die. Why may the smaller, faster advantage lumbering, crushing strength? Close quarters advantages size and muscle. Open space speed at any length.
Choose an open field to a closed cave if you're small and move fast. David and Goliath, giant or small man. Speed and leverage ask. That is the game and set a trap. How far can he throw a spear, launch an arrow? What's your striking distance? Timing opportunities become narrow.
Mutation, selective keeping and isolation are what steer evolution. Continental drift, population bottleneck or breeding a natural solution. I've heard of it. In the case of people, slavery is an instance of herding. An evil institution for thousands of years, it's one's wording.
Habitat and that most endowed to all surroundings is what succeeds. When it changes, as it always shall, any most adaptable to new needs. Support today may be gone tomorrow. Future's marginally predictable. Doubtfully a realm of mankind. To alter forthcomings likely inhospitable.
Weather, sun and earth make or break living organisms regularly. The cosmos itself, all but stable, expanding from nothing particularly. When it began, where will it end? Cosmologists rely on their formulas. Creation is a bit clearer than its end and we are a product, formula of.
Chemical formulas are precise. Heavy elements made in big stars. Ejecting fused hydrogen forms, periodic elements, charts like ours. Speculation is, at a point, a universe was composed entirely of quarks. Protons, neutrons, antimatter parts, electrons at the speed of light marks. To be honest, you cannot take it with you. The transmigration of souls. Camels pass through a needle's eye. Rose by singularities extols. Points of infinite density, so to speak. Matter stored in another dimension. It seems to make sense. Angels dancing on a pinhead it mentions.
Doubt I speak freely. floating around us like a virus. Biological war. Who started it? Where's it begun? Killing people and no gun once more. It's not good to point your finger. Another form of life, how to make a living. That's at our expense. So look for the cure. Be forgiving.
Everyone has to earn their keep. Dig down in your pockets, really deep. You come up with a metal washer and wood nickel, that is cheap. Your savings is minus balance. Where did that last bill land us? Do not fear the government. It cost more to lock you up than make a big fuss.
Everyone knows someone until it costs them their life. Mine for yours. Does an almighty creator count? I doubt it, mathematics assures. Contrivance of man, base 10 number of digits counted on our limbs. Calculus is an amazing predictor. It pegs the universe to the time it begins.
Calculating areas of an ellipse or predicting positions of planets gave early astronomers a task solved by Isaac Newton's habits. He cracked it because the local solar members don't orbit in circles. Naked eye viewing Venus or Mars don't get it good without mathematical hurdles.
When we increase the number of rectangles, of equal width, using a smaller value gets a better approximation to the area infused. You can see this in the pictures. The pictures show a right and point approximations, respectively using larger magnitudes of rectangles, point.
Calculus, the branch of mathematics that deals with the finding of derivatives. Properties of integrals are functions by methods based on their differences. The summation of infinitesimal numerical divergence. Two main types of determining are differential or integral inferences.
Time wasted. Fun I've had. Those good days exist to ones that are bad. In context they can't all be delightful. Drudgery is mostly what I've had. Work to maintain a lifestyle we're accustomed to what we do. If it is ritzy you will have to work harder. No one is handing it to you.
The untold law, anything that can go bad, will assuredly do so. Bad luck happens. Good fortune rarely twice. To become lucky, we give all our devoted passions. Commonly you wind up broke in the process of pre-guessing. The list is endless of things we wish for without possessing.
Mountains of what we want stand next to small piles that you need. Eyes large as stomachs determine distance to objectives guaranteed. Cars, jewelry, land or homes are estates to quarrel over rather than work. When fighting's harder than working you wonder what for. It's berserk.
You will have a lavish lifestyle and funeral after which you're in memory. If you've got one it's about how you acquired that pile your treasury. Be it reverie or treachery, friendships or rivalry you're pursued. Into heaven, straight to hell or back to earth a recollection is used.
Likely you will wind up here on land. Earth's still spinning, life continues. Take more energy than you know about. Slow it down or stop being used. Turn to what set it in motion. Put your mind to that. Pursue the truth. Backward engineering our universe, your brain's the sleuth.
It has been done. Crushing large numbers into scientific notations. Calculus reconsiders the same things as alert scientists' speculations. That our observable existences have measurable age and distances. Ruled by speeds of electrons created from singularities, our existence is.
Count bubbles in a champagne glass. You will not get right enough. Keep drinking. Almighty thinking here. Our Maker does not count such. That would be correct. In the definitions of infinity there's one might be. There are more than that. Just stop at one. The bottle's empty, see.
First person we think about is me. So long as there are id and ego. Virtually it is an unfortunate state of affairs we are in, where we go. Preservation, primal instinct, warns us to stay alive. Message is loud. Standing alone in the desert or middle of a crowd, each one endowed.
Point a reference frame. Individuals' unique looks and views are the same. Imagine perspectives from their vantage. Get a broader picture of blame. Normal, though not to a crowd. It's only your ego. We all have one. More than others, how national selection worked since life begun.
Bias is unavoidable. In what you eat, sleep or drink it's not deplorable. Don't eat poison or drink drain cleaner put before you. It is avoidable. Who you pick as a friend or partner has an association that is similar. Romance ending in tragedy should never start with no limiter.
Allies or enemies over periods of time in all corners of the world. Come to our aid? Flags covering coffins on which they were unfurled. If you have come to live here, can I go to live there permanently then? Would I bleed over your soil if you are not willing to do so for our men?
War that is conditional isn't worth fighting unless enemies make concessions. Conventional, chemical, biological and nuclear concessions are deceptions. Stuck half and you are going to lose. Low technological perseverance wins. No slow mercy. High-tech swift justice where it ends.
Stop there, go back to where it begins. The instant of creation, follow. In actuality there's an interval. A discovery in physics gives it, allow. Thought out by men, the point at which further division becomes irrelevant. Idea infinite but not. Concept a measurement message sent.
Boils down to a concept instantaneous without transmission won't be sent. Given a hand to it as in artillery and ammunition, keep it independent. In the nature of reality we have only our time that's lent. Forward to the end. And a last element. A large charge on short fuses bent.
War again always seems to be a way of man. Earn it or take it thoughts. Futility of wars, the bringing about of change a message gets across. Life itself, a war for survival. Lean on whatever you feel to be liable. What put this thought in your head is who made men unjustifiable.
Satisfied mostly a condition resulting from the end of confusion or hazard. Go with the scientific steps forming hypotheses. Test the data gathered. Endgame is formed from the experimenter's observation. Willingness to share conclusions is where it ends. Copyright to publication.
Willingness to share discovery is important. It means more than defined. Without communication of results, information is useless. Mind. In the case of those less friendly or hostile, knowledge becomes dangerous. Who you share with is of utmost importance when used to endanger us.
A projection of totality and digression, think backward then envision it out. From whence you originated, the maker some aggregate or amount. Totalities or makers themselves are where from. You are a tiny fraction. How small would amount to notation with page after page of action.
Spiritualism, a form of pleasure or pain, blame. So like the opposite sex. Of all things in nature, what is selected survives. It is vastly complex. To get from oceans onto land and into air, natural selection put it there. That environment demands it, a must, changing everywhere.
When defects become positive adaptation, the odd one wins at survival. Chosen because of an oddity that is transmittable through genetic recall. Slight variations and even extreme ones might mean help in survival. Mutations occasionally may become functional but not always is all.
Life goes on, in most cases. Mass extensions, one after another. Threatening to eradicate the existence of organisms, Earth Mother. Taken for what it is worth, the visible universe is staggering in proportion. Tiny dot in a cosmos barely worth consideration of a drop in an ocean.
Life is a grand experiment in a changing cosmos. Earth has many examples. From plankton to man or big elephants, those diversifications are samples. From an octopus to an inchworm, it is interwoven and surprisingly similar. Though not to the eye, chemically we do not much differ.
2000th The age of our visible universe evolutionary relationship. Time for mankind's branching from great apes to become modern, grip. One wonders how abundant life is. On Earth, as throughout all existence. Observable doesn't mean there isn't more undetected by distance.
Neurons in the brain have been there since birth. A single cell, similar to a visible universe, under microscopes capable of imaging well, down to the alignment of a single atom on a layer of silicon, if, then, a virtual machine or switch, set conditions for electronics to begin.
Directed high-energy particles. You will feel it. Enough to become dangerous. To living organisms and all else its radiation can endanger us. High photon power, it disrupts biological information producing mutation. See your coded messages in Morse code, less a dot of population.
Not precise, a missing or misplaced dot in message is encoded dot or dash. Analog, sine wave or square. Digital, zeros or ones. There's also space, flash. Semiconductor switch is the same. Innovation is the materials to make one. It is a gate, open or closed. That is simple and fun?
Not in my neighborhood. Have you heard it? Is this part of our universe or not? That could become depending on uniformity of phase transitions from hot. Examples are many: water when it cools, rains and freezes. Formation of protons and neutrons, prediction of the variation eases.
Those of charisma great and small, stand in variations short and tall to all. Brutality says a lot in the war of species. Specialization wins, that's the call. Taught to, if it happens to apply to you. Or me, as the talent may be. Appeal to patrons. Only thing we choose to see.
Good night, be looking, they are hard to find. Circle entry, a good description. Not of the table round but for naked-eyed observation. It requires conviction. Gravity wasn't understood. Motions of those lobes following the sun. They look hotter than others in a night sky should.
Wondered why they wander against the black night as Earth orbits faster. Our router giants seem to do loops against a gigantic galaxy mixmaster. Two inner rocks revolve a bit quicker, outshining the stars. Reflection of the sun illuminates the planets at night, as red rust on Mars.
Appearance is deceptive as the sun seems to rise and fall to the horizon. Closer to its equator it's more prevalent. At the poles, not nearly as sudden. We can observe and report. No effect, not even atomic weapons. Changing the orbit of planets a mathematician dramatically recons.
Producing and retaining antimatter is difficult. Exist fractions of seconds. Containment of the problem even in magnetic fields, its temporary records. Relevant as matter phenomena is proof performed in a laboratory. Cost and difficulty are monumental. Its existence is statutory.
Aging, we collect records. Who, what for, knowledge destined to end. Not, we're being watched, friend. Or we're watching for a maker. Biological, eventually we wear out or are replaced. Oldest cell, the neuron. Silicon base, not carbon, may be longer lasting, dependent of a shield on.
Radiation intense will cause an end. Even deep in outer space, bet on silicon. Robotic is a better answer. Humans require more protection. Pressure on. Countdown to ignition. Lift off, and if all goes well, we're in orbit. Around the velocity of Earth's spin. Stop, lock and set it.
Locked in, directly over the Russian and Chinese below us. Now get ready. Another booster to increase, then take us out of orbit. Gravity pulls steady. Solar wind or dimension bends to ride another wave. A gravity well, in which direction? Cancel mass, literally, increments behave.
As written. It cannot be cancelled by means we have today. Take gravity away? Negate one of nature's forces set in place by creation. Impossible, you say? Then it is in your imagination or mind to define. It's real, outside, waiting, grasp. In my mind I can just eliminate the sign.
Nature now. Having to do with creation and dying. Ways to stars are laying. Observation, now our means to discover. I want to see what everyone's saying. Observed, a key, not detectable. Outside the realm of reality is close? Is there a way to do this without giving up the ghost?
Paranoia concerning problems is frequently a greater dilemma between two. Media proclaiming troubles will propagandize anything directed toward you. A public needs to become cautious concerning the news source. Converted into dollars, most of us will snap at that bait, of course.
Broadcasting on large scale requires sponsors. Journalists depend on it. Write what they want if you wish money and not truth. Then bend it a bit. From car parts to food, a picture's often misleading as to the object. Sensationalism gets the attention but money making the project.
It is all a campaign to the end. Corner a market and form monopolies. Common practices of capitalism prior to antitrust laws anomalies. Carried on under the table instead of on top, we trust and fall for it. Honesty requires no disguises. It doesn't take a mask from where I sit.
Publicity is advertising's end, along with profit if it sells masks or ties. Either one is fashion and big business, from cars to clothes, no lies. How many times have countries been swayed by a single dictator? Monarchy like that. Comes to real estate, that bridge, see you later.
At gunpoint works, but it is where peace ends. There are better ways now. Just check and recheck that data's source of origin, what is tested and how. Freedom requires morals and restrictions. No, it does not include murder. Enjoy it, but do not think you will get very much further. Journal, your rudder or guide, activity, location and discovery every step. Retrace your journey for others to follow. Make sense, remember to prep. Great discovery is useless if you die with the knowledge. Leave a clue. You could forget it yourself. Be equipped to relocate, you.
Castaway and shipwrecked say. Consistency and even on a pleasant day. Naturally that is where my treasure is put. Discoveries with great value lay. It is in people or a person upon which the secret best be bestowed. Individuals, not a man, may put it to use and pay what is owed.
Choose a song says science is knowledge, but don't ignore your faith. Have writers make notes. As if one had any. 1 step octave eighth. 5 notes, of course you got the blues. So does everyone. Not just you. Get off your can, get it up on stage. Stand and deliver what you can do.
Pale next to our Maker. Give thanks, have no fear. In reward trust. Methods important. Leave fear to scientists, faith to clergy, we must. Miracles are real, an act of God. Try for consent, you ain't him. We all know it, and who do we talk to? Is life transient or eternal? Begin.
To hypothesize requires conviction. That your doubt is correct, you feel? Hinging on belief a method's correct goes to the next step. Tests are real. Repeatable experiments prove your wonder. The cure, time travel. Can't wait. Recently as electricity. Dark matter and energy unravel.
On matter energy there is a source and medium displaying wave particles. An expanding sea of hard-to-detect substance seen pouring in the articles. The cataclysm of colliding dimensions one would predict our universe. Proven by the observations of many astronomers run in reverse.
Force of supernovae raised exponentially is not classified essentially. A bottomless gravity well viewed through lensing in an energy field likely. Force carrying medium water or air. You can't see or feel it's there. Opening into some new dimension, becoming a universe, but where?
It is beyond our ability to see across most oceans except from outer space. And horizon depends on elevation at sea level. Far away, higher your place. Our Maker is one simply detectable beyond that light can't go. Or it has not been, that is acceptable. All we may prove or know.
Yourself and cosmos are measurable in our own dimension. One to another. Detectable matter is our data. That which is not we may only infer by color. A stellar background that appears as black. In a night sky wonder? Partially dark, vacuum space above the atmosphere is a blunder?
We ride with other dimensions. Subatomic particles appear and vanish. From where into what it seems to mention. From a standpoint banished. Direction it goes at the speed of light it was created, photoelectrons. Passing through what, we'd like to know, ether or field it runs on?
All else rides on other dimensions. I am to ride on Bud Light. Low-calorie beer, natch. That's the speed I travel. No doctor, but it's right. Not liquor and of course a smoke. Lord, you're making another joke? No, fire it up. A few puffs and naturally you're floating like you soak.
There is no reason for being here. Thoughts and answer. As I know her. Now referring to that, here is definition 1. The reply to an officer, sir. You're part of an army. We're rolling. 1. You army want to be. Staggered your lines into fractals to reproduce. Call this a truce.
Key to a transformer. To step down any voltage converter you want. You are quite right in the price, might I inform her, quite nonchalant. What would it be? MCSCROOGE. A better working magnetic coil or field. Hit the nail with a hammer. Of our planet, our sun it could kill.
Coronal ejection or plate tectonics may erupt on a scale gargantuan. Magma or plasma try to weld some plasmas of a heat that can ruin atomic weapons on the scale of a match next to stupendous forest fires. Goodbye to the sun-facing hemisphere. Protective atmosphere requires.
Magnetic fields from our iron core redirect photoelectrons, less radiation. No moon, no tides. Another essential effect on detecting direction. Crude navigation comes nature's way. Migratory paths are in play. Based on the sun, a lot of transiting is done. Across water or what way?
This is not to be conclusive or score. It's only a way of explaining more. Stabilized change would be more desirable. To time indefinite for sure. Never forever, it doesn't exist. The product of equations unknown. Infinity, choose a definition. There are many mathematicians shown.
What one man knows may be more important than another person's life. Given a rope in one hand, an attacker behind, in the other hand, a knife. Recall that no one isn't worth saving if not for more than knowledge. Another reason it's what you'd expect, least recognition or homage.
That some are worth killing may equally be true. Extending how long? One day at a time or an eye for an eye. We're all cut short. It's a song. Merely a tweet or vibration in an energy field through which we act. One understands existence as continuous, level and essentially flat. To stand, look round, ascending dimensions could go onward continually. Higher planes or awareness of a point one Planck length conspicuously. Then no more. Not in my universe, what we perceive as photoelectrons. Measurement below which astronomy science strives to know electrons. Find a photon and medium through which it emits transmission to. Almost there, open your eyes. The first step, if not blind, it's through. Hit a switch. In the event there is not any light because it is night. Praise modern times and the society that supports it, effort not slight. Bend large straws across mountain ranges to witness a water flow. Component on the side closest to sea level. Long hose so it goes. Pressurized, a big system would work by gravity. Losing force, not water. Talk over whiskey, fight over H2O, you know. One of four forces, as it were.
Give your all. Do not expect appreciation, depending what a point be. Survival, first imperative. Nature's brutal, unforgiving to a great degree. Control fire, speech, refinement of tools to hunt, build and cultivate. Modern man is an endurance runner, for most part a long chase.
Being called a red-necked honky Budweiser guzzling bolo, gringo. We awaken a fifth force. An inner voice of our relatives, what they know. Intuition or clairvoyance means I know what you're thinking about. You of course understand. Left at an intellectual level. No need to shout.
No force of physics, one of psychology, strategy used on opponents. Senses are the better explanation. Sonar camouflage our proponents. Getting around it requires speed and agility. Hunt and attract your mate. Everything in nature relates. Antenna to sound waves, sense or forsake.
Written in the vague desire to continue your thoughts. Preserve a word. We go one with understanding at any intersection. Eye contact you heard. Octagon not mentioned like coming to a full stop from high speed. Timing minimizes the friction and wear on components. Sight you need.
Determination relies on reflex in deciding direction to the destination. Cruising requires no specific endpoint and continues in relaxation. If you've set controls, there's nothing to do except disengage or adjust. Ride the show, if you may. Grandstand and stage set in place a must.
Keep tinkering until you have just the right effect to remember loved ones. It is an eye controlling the hand. Steady now, ignore all the time it runs. Say it is your father and think why most of us would bother. We all had one, though some may not remember if they are not a scholar.
If sometimes, you look at nature and wonder that, it is all some blunder. Remember, it took billions of years to grow that way, making the hunter. Be it for gold or recognition, all of us are looking for something. Or perhaps someone. An important individual to whom we owe a ring.
The defining contour of a perfect figure is a smile. It speaks a language. We read facial expressions. Left speechless, often it's all we can manage. As long as you have sight, that's all there is to become known. From ear to ear an upturned curve is what is preferred to be shown.
Always expect to hear something stunning as events in the future unfold. Until it happens, a mystery remains so forever, or once that becomes told. Discovery happens every day and night as we gaze into the open sky. An asteroid or meteor, new bodies in our heavens, appear, is why.
Why and what you would choose to record for the purpose of prosperity. That for which we pray and even pay must have significance and clarity. History is constructed of evidence and others' memories mostly. Actual events can be reconstructed or staged costly on cameras, remotely.
An orb we're on rotates dark to light. The difference, night and day. In rotation about our star, the Sun. 4 billion years, been that way. Liquid water, atmosphere and magnetic field stabilize a blanket of air. Are no other planets in our solar system to which it may compare?
We will look for other systems where one like ours may have developed. At impossible distance, viewed many light years away, by air enveloped. It would require biological life with oxygen as its byproduct made. In temperate zones hospitable to life. Longevity stops it, I'm afraid.
Common to Earth, what about the rest? We call it a visible universe. For the detectable spectrum of atmospheres on other planets, search. Imaging solar systems impossible to reach is still worth effort. Are we alone in this cosmos? Discovery of extraterrestrial life wouldn't hurt.
Belief and faith that coincide with science says the maker is on our side. Chances and the throw of dice over enough time may become applied. That is coincidence. It is without intention, but ends that way. That we exist at all, and the reason for this is what we continually pray.
That knowable to our kind is a realm of the forces of creation. What created this totality? A singularity. Matter, antimatter explanation. That all the angles in heaven may dance on the head of a pin. True. What we're doing on Earth, it would admit everyone else, including you. Don't claim to ever be composed. We are all a work in progress, suppose. You or me with all those other characters we imagine, I'd care to propose. Reality is a scattered perception and may not exist without it. There's a purpose. We often wonder about how and why it may serve us.
In all analogies and parables we may talk about, that would be a maker. Perception is a key, no doubt. But to say it as a direct quote, use faker. Steer away from plagiarism, altering and inference. Try and be objective. Work for something meaningful, worthwhile, scientific detective. Be prepared for the worst, it tends to get better. My line to a chick. Whatever does happen, you're ready. Only that sure. Make it into a flick. Simply pull it out of the air. They are all words waiting to be written. Hope for some meaning and accuracy. By curiosity, become bitten.
It is only a rechargeable battery, so what in the crap could the matter be? You laugh while I sit here and pause, knowing that you are the cause. See. So fix the thing or get that out of our way. Tangible property, what price you pay. Plumbers of course pull in a worthy wage, say.
100 joules to send a tweet. My message is out. Accomplish the feat. As the mission has priority. We get a feeling everyone in it has their seat. Cut to the chase and get to a point of knowledge or single talent. Flying that crate, with 100 passengers is overbalanced.
For thousands of years men have attempted to record historical events. Be it hunt or war, leader or trophy, we wish to immortalize intents. Carefully we carve, chipping away on rocks or coloring utensils, left for future generations to evaluate. Hieroglyphics we copy as stencils.
Interpretation or understanding becomes hard without explanation. What did civilization discover, record or prove because of its separation? Important to science when building on that idea's architecture. Arches or vaults seem to survive amazing periods of time bridging a sector.
Moving dirt, rock and building materials leave evidence, trails of the work. Quarry or roadway. How was it moved and assembled? Answers may lurk. Any replication of the process by means available at the time helps. We are only stumped. Could they have had help from someone else?
Perhaps information but not the material people worked with at the time. Helping less advanced cultures today involves surviving a long climb. On a mountain top or buried in a tomb where it lay on a floor. Archaeology shows where a city may have had its beginnings, opening a door.
Press on because we are seeking understanding, not dawdling on thrills. Become serious looking at mounds of earth. It could be more than hills. Push the dust away, one grain at a time where fossils appear. Most of them, hidden relics of the past. Not appearing upon surfaces near.
Much of life seems hidden in digression, reflecting what we experienced. How we learn involves emotions of hate, love, pleasure, pain, the various. Suppression of traumatic agitation over time hides unpleasantness. Lessons we no longer maintain today or reflect on, present to us.
Remember or not, it affects the personality we're dependent upon to walk. Each experience we learn in order that we become acculturated and to talk. Caused forms of criminality are personal decision, not upbringing. Learning has to do with that. Pick a pocket or two you're singing.
Game of cards you are good at. Bend rules a little without breaking them. Refuse to give a fool an even break, and that is all it takes. It's me or him. Bullying, brutality, especially in large crowds. That's your act. Stun them with facts, baffle me with bullshit. Take your bows.
How long have we created arenas? If not more than dancing around fire. As long as we have control, the means of making and keeping one is dire. Warmth, protection, production, cooking, even for sterilization. Dependent on what you intend to cook. This requires much concentration.
Along with all this is organization. Large numbers and strategic planning. Technology, weaponry have play, accuracy too. Position your manning. Can it be defended? By how many people in order to keep it safe then? Come up with an economizing of resources and it takes fewer men. Cosmology comes up with all kinds of answers on people being here. We're a bubble universe in a cosmic sea of foam, it suggests to appear. A grain of sand on a beach that stretches endlessly and far as we see. None of it's right, but one must believe. If in no more than reality we.
Immensity so extreme as to humble the simplest of souls goes on forever. Our own observable space has become tagged with age. Never say never. What we can't see is a realm of the known which remains so by nature. Our Earth appears a unique rock about a common star that came later.
Origin of our realm appears to have begun from a point infinitely dense. How many such points are or were there is needless to ask. It is immense. At best we are connecting dots that look like filaments in a neuron. A brain cell possibly resembles that kind of complexity more on.
Tweet loud as you want. Does our maker hear a little bird chirping? They call parents and kind. Warn off predators and others usurping. Coming into being is vastly complex. So much so it can't be a machine. Holographic in a sense. What we view is a wavefront darkness between.
Method by which we became created was on a grand scale, a lesson. Grasping infinity weakens minds by thinking. Is it artificial, we question? In ways it seems, until you fall to hit the ground. Oh, that hurts. And it is how we learn. Life could not be a simulation, what it asserts.
That continuation of biological processes is unending has yet to be proved. Conditional as we know it, artificial intelligence may outlast us if improved. Along with architecture, thoroughfares and things lasting 1,000 years. It seems our purpose and attention. So it appears.
Assembled of complex molecules, existing in outer space raining to Earth. That assembly of amino acids constituents may be random results worth. In enough time anything becomes possible. A boring billion years. Not forever. In one human lifetime, that may as well be, it appears.
For water to exist as liquid 1,000,000 times another 10,000 centuries. Not completely frozen or vaporized requires right conditions and energies. Assuming it to be a rarity among all detectable stuff's correct. That it's a large percent of matter would have to be checked.
Or that all detectable matter formed from a primal cell is not too far off base. It has grown now. A bit more developed, expanding and maturing's a case. A minuscule bit of the multiverse, one might say. Too far-fetched to grasp Almighty as a being so, but somehow it seems the way.
Knock it around. Smash bits, see what it creates as pieces then. Crash cars, then try to put them together, men. It'll hit a melting once again. You'll be left with iron, chrome and plastic turned carbon is all. Detectors in a collider use heavy nuclei. Seeing the result is a ball.
Subterfuge outlasting devotion, it is put in motion, from fusing hydrogen. Clouds of dust and gas you thought would never last. Lands on a button. Self-destruction in the hands of most is disregarded, only defeating. Given great purpose and put to use it manifests itself cheating.
Stuck in a dry desert, given only to thirst. What grows and who knows? Watch what eats that. A key to survive. Fire from friction, so it all goes. Lightning, geothermal, brush sparks to forest fire, jumps everywhere. Wear the right boots and even so, you are met with danger there.
If it ain't enough, there's equipment. Cargo net for any uses, even trucks. Transport helicopters in a bay. Seating accommodations are not deluxe. Food, tents, ammunition, medicine, medic and a mobile hospital drop. Then incoming wounded remind us the cold causes of war never stop.
Divided to transport warnings labeled nuclear, biological and chemical. NBC kills you without a gun? Dirty, low is underhanded, they're plentiful. If one side has them, then you might need them to fight fire with fire. Without fuel the fire's out. Make it or take it, how we acquire.
It's hard to be ethical in a war where your enemies are quite the opposite. Nobody wins, we're all losers, and the population has that farther to get. Numerical superiority has advantages if technology backs it up. Otherwise it takes only one merciless hand to inflict and disrupt.
Taken to kingdoms and dictatorship. Subjects, servants and peasants alike. There's always been class. Not a type you attend. Rather who has wealth. This land, you know. So set a boundary. Draw a line. Lay foundations. Fortresses and cities become planned that way by calculations.
Trying to think, but it doesn't count regularly because it's not numerical. Exactly, emotion seldom is quantized. Forces a smile in cases comical. That minimal portion that tips things into combination says. A least amount of energy to put it all in action, acting to give it legs.
So once it all comes together, it becomes obvious. There's been a reaction. Sometimes the affirmation needed to know someone's a present attraction. If anyone is there at all. No point in breaking into arrest a person. They would first have to become present, and known to worsen.
Life-threatening, that is. Or no one is going to care. Does it make or take it? Prolong life, enhance its quality. Don't stand by suffering. Take it and get. It's a long line and asked the true meaning, how many get that? The definition is a minimal amount causing a reaction. Fact.
Correctly diagnosing illness is no easy problem. Test and gather facts. Assure you are referring to the correct data set, what intuition attracts. Often it's a wrong patient or an incorrectly filed folder. Wish eternal youth, knowing nature doesn't work that way, we only get older.
The directional nature of time travel gets beyond an arrow railgun launch. That is a lot of kinetic energy when all transported. This physics is staunch. Hide or curl it up in a ball, just to get to third base fast. Problem is always containment or getting plasma states to last.
Power problems never ending come to an end then back to a beginning. Seems to be dark matter and energy pouring into our visible part winning. Now how are we to get the thing to kickstart us a new universe? By unwinding all the ballistics, of course, then shifting it into reverse.
When you can hit what you're aiming at and know a direction of incoming, the ultimate projectile produces the deepest penetration of the defending. At the speed of a comet swinging past the sun, scattering dust. Gravity fields like our star. 100,000 miles an hour at us. Looking out into the night skies like watching a shooting gallery out there. Earth is a very small target formed from such a grand view we share. Only occasionally we're in their way as asteroids race comets. Space rocks made of metal make meteorites hit our planet promise.
Rare objects are at times ejected from other planets such as the rock Mars. Next planet out to us rotating the sun. Escaping a lighter gravity big as cars. Meteorites that size are valuable to us collectors of metal. Homo sapiens prized them to cut stone and anything quadrupedal.
Copper and tin punctuated a Bronze Age from 4 to 1000 BC. Iron into steel for railroads and building wasn't until recent times we see. Scissors cut paper, rock breaks scissors. Iron punctured bronze. Shield, spear or chariot becomes prominent. That is what it spawns.
Bronze, good for sculpture but not for chains. Babylonian works remain. Reduced to rust, all of it gone. Along with civilizations we may ascertain. Early along, to sculpture and build, mysterious methods it yields. Precision engraving in stone is impossible, or for plowing fields?
Hotter furnaces are what that takes. And harder metals are what they make. Metal on metal we watch every day. Modern buildings and bridges awake. Stilted arches worked well with stone, most outlasting metal or wood. For best tools or weapons, however, you can bet metal worked good.
Catapult to cannons and gunpowder, we see very plainly why it would be. To create anything that would last thousands of years or for the centuries. Many good reasons support endurance. Man-made shelter is one. How long have you hid an axe, shovel or saw? Mechanical things are fun.
Communications, see the point. Tell where they want it, what to get. Crucial to all is ability to convey specifically what to eat or hit. Geometry fits into it. Describe an area. Exactly where the fish are. Old times required a runner. Man on horse to the next party. Say how far?
Give life blessing keeping us from confinement. Expandability to explore. We curious creations which wish to see. Since all to be known and more. Useful knowledge, to extend our boundary outward into creation. If not physically, let us gather the information to form a direction.
Our stairway to the stars is through detection at unfathomable distances. Reaching out into our galaxy we re-left with only observational instances. You shall not get there physically in one lifetime with physics today. For now anyway. Our solar system is where we watch and stay.
Looking at thousands of years if only to wonder and navigate our planet. Show of a clear night sky. Likened bodies made of sparkling granite. Stars, gas giants, rocks with poison, burning or frozen atmosphere. There is no point. You're created and made to live on our earth here.
Love, money, desire and poetic interest lead us down roads, traumatic. Break the strongest hearts physically and emotionally, both asymptomatic. Find any author, multitudes with no follower. Their end: destitution. Romance, tragedy or comedy, all the hard work demands restitution.
Look to our Savior, and who would it be? Shakespeare, Jesus, maybe me. Seriously doubt that. You are the Son of God then. Not me, it was he. That man between the thieves. The shepherd from Galilee. He died for us that man may be forgiven his original sin. Desire for knowledge it be.
Heaven's out there, not a state of mind. Perceptions may be deceiving. Science nails it down very tight. Faith, consider infinite, takes believing. Hypothesized, proven, not all is explained through a method. Miracles aren't explained. They are simply accepted where it is headed.
Then there are followers. What reveals that most related to truth behavior? Education will not cure death. Doctors can extend life. It comes our Savior. Conduct and disease have truckloads in common. Who do you follow? Through acts we gain grace, and in sin we continually wallow.
Do not touch that, or look the other way. Perpetually listen so you may learn. When there simply are no answers to scholarly problems, to who do we turn? Belief becomes an only answer. All but one shall find when dying. We'll be judged by our acts. To one eternal don't be denying.
Whose life you save or suffering release? Was it a doctor or a priest? That in your mind is real and persistent. Guilt will kill the strongest beast. Act accordingly and it will lead to Solomon's mind and minds. Son, in a long succession of people before Christ Jesus that defines.
That life's eternal seems a question of our maker. Who and where we ask. Goals of science as well as religion. In pleasure or pain. That's the task. Should the mission extend to virtual reality, anything's possible. Not on this planet. Perhaps another dimension. Who's responsible?
Asked, should one go to church anymore? I'll give an answer, but I think what for? Do what you want, I feel like trying once more. Most churches are non-profit associations sanctioned by governments, not ordained by the Lord. In case you are hard of hearing, I'll repeat once more.
Most churches are non-profit organizations, registered with the government, not founded on the Lord. Wiser than the crowd when it comes to avoidance of tax, comes to biblical foundations, they are just a bit lax. They seek scripture inside real estate rather than seeking a cure.
Righteousness not confined to buildings is his path, to be sure. Patients are running the hospital, all resounding the same chord. Do not let in the doctor, we're suffering for the Lord. A plague that grows to a great dimension. Nothing the doctor could do, it is terminal religion.
Week by week they become comforted with the same prescribing. Take two scriptures, do many works. Please no imbibing. You have to carry on. As I'm released from greed to follow God's Son, not in a building, it's a path you pursue. Spread verity that will not stop with just you.
His electricity only works passing through. Pass truth on to others, sharing wherever you become drawn by Christ's Spirit on his canvas at every evening and dawn. His way is to be traveled, it's never been a destination. It is not a place you stay, that would be incarceration.
Make fate not prison, life that is long and prosperous. Test not your maker. Willing it so, God answers our prayers. God hears thought, our taker. Continue to pray. Make our desire one for pure wisdom, Lord. In infinite knowledge, Almighty God, grant mankind peace on earth reward.
Exalt allies, humble thy enemies. Final justice is yours to command, Lord. Man's respect from his fellow men, not demanded, is earned in accord. Return to your servants' rightful property. Reunite families with loved ones. Ask through your Holy Spirit. In our Savior's name it runs.
Being said, life's not all for naught. There's a mission, reasons we're taught. Purpose isn't murder. Death's no answer. Life goes on. So does thought. In both we continue. Our maker, source of it all, known and unknown. From the same source, detectable or not, all life has grown.
Scientists term them singularities or continuums. Never ending and infinite. Mostly proof by that method, faith in that. Belief isn't scientific but intimate. Much of it science proves or hasn't been proven as of yet. Believe it's coming, but not all in your lifetimes, you may bet.
Here to stars in a human life standing on Earth, ending in death from birth. To Alpha Centauri, with telescopes we look into the past 4 years' worth. Travel to that system with propulsion today in 100 years. Robotically in suspended animation will take amazing engineers.
Great land rush before the 20th century. Big fight and race. Back then, about anyone could claim it was theirs, no disgrace. Some later day conquistadors to whoever could claim it and defend. Originally settled by Native Americans like Manhattan's ownership, a rule to bend.
Defending one's own territories has always been problematic, indeed. There seems to be an imperative in nature starting with animals, agreed. Where you lay your eggs or raise a family, the story is the same. Home, cave or place among the coral in a sea. It remains still our game. Run with the herd which you blend, or lone predator who lays in wait. Turf on which you stand or tree in what to land. To find or keep a mate, there are enemies to fend off. Preservation at any cost. Get off my land. Stay away from a nest. A primal imperative if offspring are lost.
Again that question of who is the boss. An alpha male or female, say. Others merely members of the school or pack. Top dog to whom we pay. Growing older it's no longer play. Stand your ground or run away. Depends on what we're defending. A castle or a sunny rock. Even a lizard may.
Seek peace within. Mansion or milk shack, you're the same individual. Like or not, it's harder to change than a place you live, mostly visual. Get up and walk around, far as a fence. Possibly there are metal bars. You only get old and weaker. More prone to bleeding, see the scars.
Significance to God may be all-encompassing or less than a speck of dust. Any event he may be listening like all the hosts in Hoville yelling he must. He is not an elephant. Though extremely immense, can he hear? Darn it all. We only want our great creator to know it, we're near. Treat others as you'd have them do to you. Seek truth through knowledge. That's what is written to understand. To our Maker and Savior give homage. His mother, disciples, martyrs and saints see their lives as lessons. Keep your minds open to a golden rule's lasting impressions.
Understand in a way others might comprehend. Kept to oneself useless. Secrets to hold over people's heads give them motive to become ruthless. Do as you say or else. A form of blackmail used in coercion. You have no privacy judged by God. Don't feel threatened by an assertion. Above all, don't rely on second-hand information or rumors as evidence. It may be used to form a hypothesis. Suspicion requires proof. Hence, validation requires repeatable experimentation by multiple sources. So relativity and duality of the properties of photons or course does.
Field, void or medium electromagnetic energy propagates in is that. A sea of it. Don't see, feel, taste it. It's there seems logical, drat. A force carrying particles been discovered. We've done it, so on. Call it dark matter because of difficulty in the detection. It's a boson. Water remaining in liquid form for more than 1 billion years is conclusive to life as we know it. On Earth it's essential in development conducive. It could be a case on one of Jupiter's moons geothermally. Europa, 6th largest moon in our solar system, has oceans internally.
At one time, Mars seems to have had water flowing, carving its terrain. Frozen on the surface, some of it remains. Below the surface, in caves. Judging by Olympus Mons, lava tubes may have then become. Should it remain in a liquid form of that phase transition, there may be some. So we'd be following liquid water. In looking for life's byproduct, oxygen. Photosynthesis, of course. Beneath the surface in liquid is where to begin. Cyanobacteria or decay of organic waste are signs of life we see. Air's mostly nitrogen and oxygen with traces, mostly argonic.
Earth's exact atmosphere around a habitable planet, something similar. Not in our own solar system. Earth at the present time. Nothing's simpler. Liquid hydrogen and oxygen, water. Mostly nitrogen's what we breathe. Adding about a fifth of the atomic number 8 makes it seethe. Where is that? How many light years? Detectable exoplanets out there? There are many. None like ours. Stars with worldly bodies, are we aware? They may hardly become counted. Astronomical distances away. Speed limits around 300,000 kilometers per second, let us say.
By time you get to an Earth-like planet in another solar system just now, sending back info, it'd be thousands of years before history could allow education the way it is. No one is able to read the returned message. Give up to work on making this world a better one, no wreckage.
Let's face it, animals. Origin of our species was right here on planet Earth. You're not designed to live in outer space. Genetically altered before birth. That could produce something more adaptable to space travel. For the risky business of flying in saucers, science may unravel.
Live on pills, smoke or drink like the rest of our crowd, and no schools. Nope, we're movie stars, of course. Fast, exciting life of illegitimate fuels. All those offspring too. It can't be proven. Lie to a census guy, standing there with a smartphone. They believe anything's why.
Been that way since New Testaments were written. Have to count them. What if a mad scientist starts a farm of clones for armies that win? Don't miss soldiers that much when they are all related to him, but make another million copies. Who cares if a few bite the dirt with a thud? Them souls no one baptizes. Not designed for eternal life, only death. Mission accomplishment has the priorities. No one cares about the rest. Make sure the job's done and we're promoted. You won't get dirty. Ain't taking no clothes to the cleaners less we can wink or get flirty.
The top grunt on that pile of dead bodies. Don't bother, finish your lunch. Best start digging or use a tractor. It's going to really smell a whole bunch. Wars are like that. Kill or be killed. Never mind a colonel there. Doesn't do any laundry. Never worries about what to wear. 40 kilometers per second are our fastest man-made probes today. Proxima Centauri G, habitable zone exoplanet 4 light years away. 1/7500th the symbol C, they're in 30,000 years. Earth's gone through its last ice age in quite far less time, it appears.
Expecting civilizations to survive that long become much too boastful. That far back in history there were none. Exponentially faster is hopeful. Even 1% light speed, 3,000 kilometers a second. 75 times that fast is 400 years, I have reckoned.
Space-based observations more realistic than physical transportation. What's worth that warrants going there? If possible, an explanation. Habitation or course in the zone doesn't preclude anything's living. Establish that it was worth the trip for samples, stick to Mars, giving. Martian life or its lost remains. Bacterium, stromatolites in microbial mets. Precambrian ended some 500 million years ago, less complex that's. The earliest parts of Earth's history may be in common with Mars. Could be so if water persists for long in liquid states among stars.
Livable Earth takes fluid hydrosis. That's a lot of sweat frozen out there. Plenty in this solar system. Though not as an abundant liquid we share. As always, follow the water to find any reclusion that is moving. Maybe it doesn't. Still it must be growing, so life it's proving.
Liquid methane on Titan, circling Saturn, covers ice volcanoes, not water. Moving fluids, none you'd sweat or drink, we need a knowledge, brother. To find something moving about, we need to take a deeper look down. Like those hydrothermal vents below our oceans where life abounds.
It seems impossible to become self-supporting without any atmosphere. Machinery won't last forever. Any moving parts wear out, there or here. Some solid-state circuitry could last a very long time, no friction. Lower temperatures control heat problems, leaving fewer restrictions.
All else is left up to Underdog or Simon Sinister. Polypurebred knows. The old cartoon show with a canine hero and heroine, how it goes. He is always near. You needn't worry. Sit and enjoy that glass of beer. Gosh, enjoy a few more. Your message in a bottle shall wash ashore.
Killed an entire six-pack of tall cans sitting on a little island, no bottles. That's how I like it. No boat, one coconut tree. Read any good novels? Gone with the Wind, The Old Man and the Sea, Hemingway and Me. Title of the Summer Sons, a book one wrote. Got to put a plug in, see. Could not have done that without modern computers to spell grammar. Never finish two sentences without misspelling three words. I stammer. Math, maybe I'm better. Add and subtract with only my head. That would be the correct change. Count it, thank the taxi drivers what I said.
Couldn't get to the store cause I forgot to tie my own shoelaces. Thanks for slip-on sandals. Lived on 3 continents in different places. Asia, Europe and Americas, for years overseas. Joined the army. 1 decade of my life was devoted to serving the country. Didn't harm me. When in Rome, do as the Italians do. Originally they were Romans too. It didn't succeed. Failed empire, everyone wants to be emperor. Caesar who? That or king. Monarchies like that. Hand out the window, my burger. Thankful to have ever had a job. And to people who do, any worker.
Factory and security work. Check the seals and spot extra long trailers. Make sure each driver's paperwork matches the load, or speak to jailers. A missing can of paper products may be a huge chunk of money. When someone drives off with them, stealing those products ain't funny. Most feared 4-letter words in English language are work and bill. To pay a bill you work. Doesn't have to be that way. I won't, never will. Lifting fingers requires energy. Digging holes takes more some way. Operating a tractor is efficient if you have one to lay pipe, some say.
Intellect, feared when used to destroy you. Above the shoulders and below. Low-tech numerical superiority wins over high-tech specialization, I know. Counting becomes meaningless. Comes to people, casualty goal. Percentage of all of us. What's left is adaptable to change, is told.
A virtual environment may become preferred to one that is actual. Eternal life with no birth or death. Thumbing through a Bible, natural. What might you envision as heaven? Some eternal rapture of sorts. Nuclear fusion is that way. Just getting a suntan in a way that is sports.
Go anywhere, do anything. Nothing stands in your way. It's gone on and on. But it doesn't last forever. Good exists only relative to bad. So goes the song. Dark and light, day or night. Gray gets awfully dull, won't stand out. Never get what I wanted, totally, we continually shout.
A few people in a ruined environment or a lot in one that's ideal. Trimming numbers won't work. Controlling the surrounding is a better deal. We have all the energy of the sun and its solar system's minerals. That's an incredible amount of building material. The words are literals.
More than 1 million Earths make the volume of our solar system. All but 16 parts in 10,000 are our sun. Planets, list some. Jupiter's a THOUSANDTH, the sun's mass, Earth around 3 millionths. In a better perspective, it is one small drop in a large pool of brilliance.
Our home star 99.84% all that surrounds it. Formed in nebulae from supernova giants producing our elements we sit. The sun is a fusion furnace for heavier nuclei as well. As it runs out of hydrogen or helium combining bigger bases it begins to swell.
A red giant engulfs our planet to white dwarf, electron degenerate matter. Doesn't really worry me. You've got 5 billion years to worry's the chatter. We're nearly halfway there since our meteor-like planet formed. A molten rock with a thin hard shell, nickel and iron core.
Momentum, direction of the original formation gave planets inertia. No external forces applied to speed or stop them, like vice versa. Cosmic clocks would run forever in outer space with no friction. So it is bar collisions. Our system is still forming. It's not science fiction.
To wait it out would take tens of million lifetimes. Hope you've the good ski. When our sun fuses helium to carbon and oxygen, our inner planet is ghee. All out of the lighter elements gone, the sun expands to burn carbon. Best finish your drink, only a couple million years margin.
We all seem to have hobbies that just drive us up a wall. Think of them all. From crossword puzzles to flying, painting or artistic expression we recall. With time on your hands, needs provided, stop, look around you. That portion devoted to survival looks to alternative views.
Preservation and reproduction seem all we're devoted to. Is artistry new? Existing in anything you build, from a beaver dam to a nest or bed of few. From a bee's nest to a Sistine Chapel, expressions preservation. Memory continuing our death. Art seems almost a mental obligation.
Attracting attention seems as vital as hunger, particularly in reproduction. Catching the prey requires bait as an attraction, superior skills at seduction. Ensnarement in a sort of way. Catch attention and hold it there. Shoes on your feet to all you wear or style someone's hair.
Write an iconic rhyme that will be remembered as a famous saying. General Sherman said war is hell. Life's a bitch, a columnist's conveying. Peacetime's oppressive. Yes, life's a bitch and war is hell we all say. Any conditions night or day. Ain't it? Don't say it's that anyway.
Quotes require sources. Not much said becomes claimed, purely original. Idea or style came from somewhere. Being a claim to fame seems criminal. Stolen from somewhere or somebody. Please avoid outright plagiarism. Bend it around is all we are doing. So that becomes behaviorism.
Altering our spaceship Earth into a utopian society is not impossible. Around star systems keep a planet in containment one crossable. Could the planet that is circling the sun, our crucial orb and vitality? What lasts longer, it or the sun? Question is existence and mortality.
Our star will last longer but not as a yellow dwarf. Next it's a red giant. The Earth is then fried. Along with Mars our inner planets are reliant. No longer habitable at any rate. Mercury and Venus are gone. Move it, lose it or keep it shielded. All in a couple billion years on.
A billion is a long time. Million times longer than to become modern. Walking upright came a few million years ago. Better ways had to turn. Running on land chasing our game. Opportunity for a bigger brain. That central processing unit burns lots of calories, the cost of gain.
How long could solid circuit virtual existences last in mediums of space? A good deal more than biological lifetimes on Earth were to stars we race. You would age more slowly toward a speed near light we became near. Suspended animation depends upon support mechanisms and gear.
Watch all you want. It is doubtful you'll ever reach another solar system. Robotically perhaps, civilization will be gone by then or gain no wisdom. In evolution it hasn't been determined the smartest get farthest. Or strongest survive longest. Are we alone or twin? Earth must.
Statistically seems likely another world like ours is in the visible universe. Detection being a problem. Inconceivable distances to make one nervous. Space-time allows us only to see the past. The future isn't revealed. We may wait only for it to adjust to circumstance and yield.
Ultimately, a barrier installed at creation prevents our traveling physically. Best bet is a virtual simulation, planted in traveling distance, scientifically. Data center in space shielded from radiation to record us. Not as we know it here. Advancement in electronics being thus.
Reality serving any purpose could be recorded and stored for future use. Like lucid dream states we hate leaving when awakened but are induced. Transient memory only, continuing on until there's no power source. Then heaven collapses. Everything fades to black, its normal course.
A recorded fantasy that goes on forever, looping back on itself infinitely. Continuous fusion, energy powerful as that of creation, indiscriminately. Meditative disciplines achieve it without sleep and are defensive. balance and coordination without becoming threats extensively.
Complex as matter and energy conversion, one to another, never ending. One is a property of the other and always has been since our beginning. God is correct, harvesting what you planted. Can't grow fruit from weeds. Do not expect what you want until you provide some simple needs.
To make electronic machines which are conscious and aware of our task, seek out a new life and expand our habitable environment is what we ask. Stretch out in the cosmos but not far away, past our solar system. Galaxies in which we reside at unfathomable distances to get to them.
Sun to Pluto, light takes 5 hours, 4 billion more kilometers. Earth to Sun, 8 minutes. Kuiper Belt asteroids are monitors. Who knows what it harbors? If you could reach it in a few hours, it could be done. Say in months or years, not an age of civilizations like ours.
13 to 14 billion light years as far as we may peer back in time. Age of a visible universe since it arose from a primal point is the rhyme. Realm of observation since time began. To what end is a mystery. We see backward, predict the future, no guarantee what's to be.
Curvature and sphere more accurately describe the cosmos shape as is. Won't fall off and end. Not flat, doesn't go on forever. Answer to a quiz. Inevitably there must be an end. The chapter in history of us. That's why we would record it. Learn from the past, answer and discuss.
In some future we may be recognized. Chances slim or none at all. Note in a bottle. Floating in an ocean, billions of light years around a ball. Why even try? Futile and useless. But if hope exists, then yes. Like belief that may be all we have, so give it your all. Be my guest.
At any vantage point, 46.5 billion years, light sends. An observable universe can be thought of as a sphere that extends. Farther back in time, less redshifted the distance away one may look. Accelerating apart since time began. Expanding its void is what it took.
Will this quickening continue or eventually stop? Maybe so, perhaps not. The bottom of the water well is where liquid forms its table with the top. Singularity science seems the same, seeing down descending black holes. Into another dimensional universe, the matter from our own roles.
Malarkey, humdrum, look to Shakespeare's common sense, public appeal. More the minds of everyday people's thinking. His many subtleties are real. An audience of theater-goers not dependent on cutting-edge science. Looking for entertainment that agrees with intelligence's confiance. So this continues from every dawn to dusk. Belief lurks in all of us. Proof is a necessity before the risk of life. Hypothesize, then discuss. Is it testable? Propose an experiment. Explosion in a weightless vacuum. Does initial acceleration continue unopposed by friction or room?
There's no noise. It doesn't go kaboom. Acceleration, expansion in space. What rushes in to fill it? Fragmentation bomb with tracking built in place. No resistance. Will it reach speed of light? Reply then no. Nothing goes that fast. At least nothing with any mass. That is so. Conjecture massless particles were universal velocity constants initially. Expansion set the limit. Cause matter/antimatter contact unofficially. Proof may be observation of such annihilations done in laboratories. Energy released as protons contact antiprotons and those speeds.
Converted to cash flows and currency, somebody might even be interested. No matter what you expound, if no one can earn a living, we're uninterested. Save your friends or kill off your enemies, governments shall want it. All else is commerce except defending one's boundaries. Submit. Regrettably, we keep them, our borders. People steal your stuff, no fence. Livestock wanders off. You can't keep a farm. Communism sounds dense. What spurs inventions? Recognition, not serving the welfare of men. Advancement, preferment, and creature comfort all fall into it then.
We're all pretty self-centered. Comes to saving our own lives, you may bet. Family is next. You can't save anyone if you are dead, becomes a pretext. Preservation above all has a set of limits, uncountable favor for favor. That not collected is accountable when you're dead saver.
Tastes like that. Sprinkle it in your dreaded cookbook for teachers. Earning a living we need to know first. It's one thing teaching features. Become eccentric but remain practical's what people suggest. Life's about enjoyment, not at the cost of others' suffering, I've confessed. I was dancing today because of last night and singing all day because of his light. There was joy in my heart and love in my life. It was dancing in my heart all the day through. Were you thinking of me as I was dancing with you? Dancing in my heart all the rapturous day through. Dance, dance, wherever you may. I am the Lord of the dance, said he. Dance, dance, I've given you a partner, a very lovely lady. Dance, dance, let the spirit set you free. I am the spirit indwelling you and she. Dance, dance, let your love flow free. Know when you are loving her.
You're loving me. So go on and dance, dance. The dance, it is your life. Romance, romance, the lady is your wife. It's a chance, which I now give to you. Experience the spirit making one out of you. So I was dancing today because of last night. I was singing immersed in his light.
There was joy in my heart, a new love in my life. It was dancing in my heart all day through. Were you thinking of me as I was dancing with you the whole day through? So go on and dance, dance, but know that wherever you may be, each day inside my heart, we'll dance on endlessly.
Reciting the love songs of a poet, brother to an old sweetheart, needless to say. We'd been dancing with each other day after day. Don't exactly remember it all, turns out we'd made love that way. I can't counter John. We were members of the same family, 3 sisters I would say.
We are nearing the climax when they are chasing Mad Max up a mountain. Like in Dukes of Hazzard, one day it'll get me, not the law, shouting. Good old boys, never doing not harm. General Sherman, lost an arm. Rolled her into a drift. Hey, all over everywhere. Mud bath in the barn. Starting with random free fall, following that down the course landing. Haven't heard from M. Contact chain of command you're handling. Call in fire then heavy artillery, 155mm HEP. Set foot in the wrong LZ did he? Heard of it? Don't take no lip. Buck me up or bust me down. It's a hard bumpy road in 60 tons of armor. Old Patton armor packing 105 canisters. Don't be hostile, foreigner. Knights of the table. So it was 13, no men lost. Range details. Don't tell commander where to plant mines or sniper trails.
You're okay and staying awake on KP. Old army, guns and war toys. Kept them around for the reason of using them against us good old boys. Tanks start before the war. We'll be at it again less we always win. Don't have to stand guard or be a scout. What winning's about then? That's the end. It may be a preclusion of mine that gets clearing and dim. Football would be a course. Basketball to polo or soccer. Set lines then. All about sports can we get brutal? How much so? Trojan horse. It'd work. How do you get 'em in? Make it look like a gift of course.
Can't think of it. Buckled to horses. Out in a field. Down now, Ranger. Last words by an outlaw. Scene was extreme, weather a danger. You would have thought just riding a fence to pack some self-defense. Colt 45 automatics. 2 extra shots, 1 in the chamber be intense.
Ways west are to field pens and out of rifle shots. Keen to terrain features. Away it goes and a way of living. Scout, he is out of ammunition purchase. Least that's the way John Wayne put it. Not exactly but close. Let's face it. You'll never know until you give up the ghost.
That was it. They all laid down and died except 2 of them that crawled. Being one-eyed ducked under a fence. Did I say crept? A long way they hauled. Through mountain and desert the long column of marching herds. Men left the garden rainforest to fields. On foot at domestic work.